If you are looking for somewhere to get inspiration to raise funds for an organization through proposal writing, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. And I'll be taking you through the various series parts for these particular proposal writing lessons. And just to let you know that I'll not be doing anything from the internet, I'll be reading from the notes from my archive. I did a proposal writing class, and I used to write notes, like literally, even though I had gadgets, but I prefer sometimes writing notes because that's how I was raised up. So I'll be reading some of them from this book of mine. So for you to write a good proposal, first, you need to understand what a proposal is. And I would like to tell you that a proposal is just a tool that we use to acquire funds. And sometimes a proposal can be a contract or can be a plan of action. So get to know those ones. The first thing you need to know is that a proposal is a plan of action, and it's also a contract, because when you get the funding, you'll be using that particular proposal to look at the contract terms with the donor. Okay, so we have different sections of the proposal, and each of my sessions will be looking at a certain section of the proposal. And so today I want to look at a few things first before we go into the proposal. And I know why you guys go on to write a proposal. Sometimes the main mistake that we make as proposal writers or people seeking funds for an organization is we hear about a call for proposal. There's an open call for proposal. We are giving out funds to fund, for example, a climate change action, or working with community on sustainable agriculture, or whatever it is. And then when we see that, and we are an organization that there are different organizations. Some of us, you realize that the call for proposal is not in our area, or does not align with our vision or objective of the organization. But then you just go ahead and be like, okay, so there is this call for proposal and I have to do it. So you talk to other people, hey, can we partner? Because we don't do this particularly, but we can also partner and write this proposal and get this money, okay? So you look at that and you realize that your main aim for writing that particular proposal is actually to get money. And that is one of the wrong reasons why we should write a proposal. So a proposal first, you should be looking at, before you do a proposal, you're looking at solving a problem. Okay, and that's why most of these proposal writers, when they want to write a proposal, they will start with a problem solution tree. You look at, what problem do we have? That's where you start from. What problem do we have? You look, I'm working with this community member, then I realize most of these women are trekking long distances to go and get water for domestic use. So that is a problem. Now, how can we solve it? Okay, once you identify a problem, which is actually water scarcity in a particular area, now you start looking for a solution. What would be the solution to this particular problem? One of the solutions would be maybe having digging boreholes, or probably having water harvesting and storage system installed in homes. And so you look at the options, which one works, because you not go for a water harvesting and storage solution if the households are mainly made of houses with a grass thatched roofs. That one is not going to work. So look at the problem and then look at the solution. Now, when you look at the problem and the solution, you realize that there are the causes and the effect of that particular problem. So the causes will become the objectives, your objectives for your proposal, and the effects will become the solution. Okay. For example, you have a group of women who are trekking a long distance to go and fetch water. Okay, what is the cause? What is the cause? So the cause is probably there is no water source, a nearby water source to be used by this community. So that objective becomes to install a water source for this particular community. And so if there's no water source for this particular community, what's the effect? The effect is they are going long distances to fetch water. Okay, and so what will be your solution? So that the effect will become the solution. So the solution will definitely be to solve the problem of long distance, and so bring the water source closer to these people. Okay, now you know that you should start from the point, from the problem solution point of view before you go into proposal writing. Don't go into proposal writing because you have seen that someone is offering money and you know that you need that money. So when you get the money, now you start fumbling around, oh, how do we do this? How do we do this? You see, in that proposal, when we go through this series, you will see various sections of the proposal, and one of them would be the activity timelines. So if you write a proposal just because you want to get money, and then you get your activity timelines wrong, that means they will not align with the objectives that you formulated in the beginning. And the objectives, if you don't think about objectives before you start, before you start requesting for funding, then you will have wrong activities to achieve those objectives. So you need to learn these things. Okay, and in my notes, I also noted something about, we're just in the introductory section of this particular series. I also want to tell you something about, and just speaking in plain language, because I know there are so many people out there who are raising funds, and not all of us are very educated, but we have passion. Some of us are just driven by passion that we have. And actually, I'm one of those guys who are driven by passion. And so I believe that when you have passion, you achieve more than even the person who is using a lot of, knowledge in what they do. I've seen people who are not even learned, but they're achieving a lot. So one of the things that I would like us to know about proposal writing is that not all proposals that you write for funding are accepted. Okay? They are never accepted. Not all of them are accepted. Some of them will not be accepted. But you don't want to have our proposal rejected for a very obvious reason. Okay? So why don't we learn about the reasons why some of these proposals are rejected? One of them is there's a poor problem, context, or response analysis. Okay? Now you have thought of a proposal. You want to write about something. You want to write about like solving a problem in our society. But now the way you think about the solution is poorly formulated. You don't give it a thorough thought on how you're going to approach the solutions, how you're going to approach the problem that you have to ensure that the solutions are aligned with the objective that you set out to achieve. So people will look at the donor will look at the problem that you have and compare with are you having a proper analysis of the response to these particular problems? If it's not aligning properly, your proposal definitely will be rejected for a very obvious reason, very simple, flimsy reasons that can have your proposal rejected. Number two, and this is very important. That's why, sometimes you see a proposal, people see a call for proposal, they get so excited and they jump into, reading, how can we now, this proposal is about we want to, let's say incorporating sustainable agriculture in alleviating poverty in women groups in whatever region you are in. And so you just start writing, without going through the guidelines. If you don't go through the guidelines, chances are very high that your proposal will be rejected. Okay? So read through the guidelines one by one. Different donors have different structures for their proposals. Even though in this series we'll go through all the components of the proposal, it does not mean that when you're writing a proposal, you stick to all those components. Different donors have different guidelines for the proposal they expect from you. Okay? So read through the guidelines. Number two, it might be rejected because you are not following the template. Excuse me. You are not following the template. You are not following the layout that is put out by the donor. That means you are ignoring simple factors and it might be interpreted into being a person or a receiver who will be ignoring the guidelines during the implementation phase. Okay. Another thing is poor justification of the project. You need to justify your project voraciously. Let the donor understand everything that you want to achieve, and you justify it from the point of where the background starts, how you want to approach it, and why you want to achieve this problem, and what problem you're going to solve, the problem you're going to solve, and what you aim to achieve. Justify it properly. Okay, if it's about endangered species, be very clear about it. There is a poor gender analysis. Nowadays, a lot of gender issues are incorporated in proposals, and you need to look out for those ones. Then you also have a poor monitoring and evaluation framework. How will you evaluate your impact if it's a poor evaluation framework? There is lack of detail in key places and also late submission. Another thing you need to look out for is the use of abbreviations when you are writing your proposal. be very keen. Okay, let's look out for part 2 and we go on again about this.